From KATU, hundreds of ballots possibly burned after Vancouver ballot box arson, FBI investigating. The scary thing here is why. Now, the Post-Millennial adds also in Portland, Vancouver and Portland. They say ballot boxes in Portland, Oregon and Vancouver, Washington were set ablaze in the early hours of Monday morning. The Portland ballot box located in the 1000 block of Southeast Morrison Street, with officers responding to reports of the fire at around 3:30 a.m. Monday. By the time officers arrived, security personnel working in the area had extinguished the fire. They sent a press release. Officers determined that an incendiary device had been placed inside the ballot box to set the fire. The Bureau's explosive disposal unit cleared the device. The status of the ballot box inside is currently unknown. At around 6 a.m., police responded to the area of Fisher's Landing Transit Center in Vancouver for a separate burning ballot box. According to KATU2, first responders released a pile of burning ballots onto the ground from the box, which continued to smolder. So we don't know how many ballots are now destroyed, how many people's votes are now disqualified. The scary thing about this is shadow campaign. I don't know what it means. I don't know what we should or could expect in the next week. Did we get stories like this in 2020?
No, not burning ballots.
No.
Yeah, this is crazy, right?
No.
And so this is not even the first. There was an Arizona mailbox that was set on fire, and 20 or so ballots that were inside it were destroyed. There was another story that apparently was fake news. Apparently it was manipulation. And there's concern that this is an attempt to stop Republicans from voting early, to scare them, make them think that if they vote early, their ballot could be destroyed. I don't know. I think there's also a possibility it gives Democrats plausible claim that if Democrats lose, they're going to say, but how many ballots were destroyed by, MAGA extremists or something they might make up. We don't know who did this, left, right, or otherwise. These are in deep blue areas. Why destroy these ballots?
You double switch. It could be someone didn't want the Portland ballots to get counted. It could be someone wants it to look like the opponent of the Portland voters wants their ballots to get destroyed.
Or it could be some force, foreign or domestic, who's trying to sow chaos with an election.
It's domestic terrorism. This is legit domestic terrorism where you unleash like Homeland Security and find out.
There's a heightened awareness this time around, Tim. I mean, I'm at OMG. We have 200 poll workers that want to film, and it just wasn't the case a few years ago. I mean, I put out a hey, if you want to film, send me a message. We got like 600 emails from poll workers and election judges. When more is at stake in an election, more people are going to do illegal things. This is a felony, obviously. You're going to have people. You had two or three assassination attempts on a president. So you're just going to have there's so much scrutiny on this election that if someone is doing something improper, it's going to be recorded. You're going to know about it.
What happens next? There have been two legitimate attempts on the life of Donald Trump, one plot. We now have ballots being destroyed. I am very concerned about what comes November 5th.
Well, we have 200 people with cameras recording, and if there's some impropriety, we'll find out. If it's close, we'll find out.
What's your bigger concern in this? Chaos and violence, or just people here and there trying to cheat by like discarding a vote or counting it wrong, or what do you think is going to happen?
The predict the future question. No,
don't predict the future, but
the country
what
is
your
so
concern?
divided that the country is so. It's a bigger issue. The country is so divided. I'm not sure how we govern. If for whatever reason Trump were to lose, how does the other side deal with all of Trump's supporters? Like, for example, Elon says they're going to, maybe he's joking. Oh, they're going to put me in jail. I joke Kamala's going to put me in jail. Are they really going to try to put all these people in jail for political reasons? Is that going to sit? Okay, but then there are going to be some people on the extreme who unfortunately will probably rebel against that. That's unjust. That's wrong. So that's a setup for a civil war. And I don't think the Democrats can I don't believe in that. I don't believe in violence. I don't believe in, any type of, illegal behavior, but my concern is the country is so divided. But it does seem, Tim, in the last week or two, maybe I'm reading the room wrong, but that a lot of people are unifying behind Trump. That's my sense of it. So maybe he wins in a landslide.
Well, I don't know if I'd say he wins in a landslide, but right now the data suggests that he gets a marginally decent victory in the popular vote and the Electoral College. And we need this. I'm going to say it again. I've been screeching this for the past 2 weeks now. Go vote. Listen. If you live in California, we need you to vote even more than anybody else. Trump winning swing states, it looks like he's going to win the swing states. Great. If you live in a swing state, go vote. But now more than ever, especially the people who live in deep blue and deep red states need to vote because we got too much apathy. In California, you got 10 million Republicans and about half of the Republicans go, hey, it's a blue state anyway. I'm not going to vote. Who cares? What's the point? If you vote and Trump wins the popular vote, it sends a message to the far left insane ideology that we, the American people, say no. But if Trump wins the Electoral College and loses the popular vote, they're going to claim they have popular mandate, that Donald Trump is a usurper who is ineligible to be president, and then it will be absolute chaos. Now, I'm not saying it won't be chaos if Trump wins both, because who knows what they're going to do. I'm just saying let's have the moral high ground and get everybody to go vote. And I'll tell you this, even in red states, if you're in a red state, you're going to go, he's going to win here anyway. What's the point of me voting? So that Trump wins by 10 million votes. And you say, look at that, we win. In Charlestown, the line for early voting was massive, stretching all the way down. How far did it go? Blocks? Couple blocks? Crazy. That's good news.
I just think that if there is a conspiracy, if there is some type of illegal destruction of ballots, or I think this time we're going to know about it. I think someone out there is going to record it. Someone's going to blow the whistle on it. It's not possible for them to get, that's what I believe.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a conspiracy. We're talking about a standalone complex. Mm-hmm. If 10,000 run-of-the-mill regular Democrats who are working voting locations in various states, it could be as simple as one guy of his own volition being like, I can't let Hitler win. And so he says, Trump must be no good, throws in the garbage. Kamala, that's Kamala. You know what I mean?
I see. You're saying no one was there to witness that.
Well, so the issue with 2020 was that a lot of the instances that people were saying was, hey, look, this person is doing something weird with ballot counting. You don't need a conspiracy for this. When Kamala comes out and says Trump is Hitler, do not let him win, that is the conspiracy right there. I mean, not literal conspiracy. That is the instruction. If you are working polling locations and voting centers, what she is basically telling you is that you have to do whatever you can to stop Trump. So what happens if 10,000, what happens if 1,000 people in swing states just take it upon themselves to do something illegal? Who's going to be tracking John Doe? Just some random guy. He's 36. He got a job at a polling location. Nobody knows or cares who he is. He has no authority whatsoever. And then he's just going, what does that say? Does that say Trump? I can't read it. It throws in the garbage. And then you do that a couple times, and then you end up shifting how many votes for Trump in a swing district.
If one person gets caught on tape doing that, man, that'll just send a shockwave through.
Yes.
I hear you. Yeah.
But we already had in 2020 the woman who ran the ballots through multiple times.
Yeah.
And that was never adjudicated. The question was, did they properly get counted? And so, so the question was, is she rescanning the same ballots because they're not serialized at incrementing more votes for Kamala, or were they just rejected from the scanner and she had to re-put them back in? We don't know. All the Trump supporters are going to claim she's tripling Kamala votes by doing that because just run them through over and over and over again. It adds to the count. We don't know. If an individual does something nefarious or malicious to shift ballots in either direction, who cares? If someone catches that person, the judge is going to say, 50 votes won't change an election. The concern then is when 10,000 Democrats do something like that.
Well, we'll be recording if they do. That's all I can say.
Yeah. We're still kind of in a heavily insecured voting strata, unfortunately, where we rely on pieces of paper. And I've talked about this all last week.
And that's the way it should be.
Well, except when they get lit on fire and there's no backup. That's a big problem.
That's the problem of early voting. And there should not be early voting month. Constitution says Congress provides, and Congress provides a single day for the election. And they've all started subverting the rules so they can put ballot boxes in insecure locations.
Also, when a girl's running the same piece of paper through a machine multiple times, if that happens,
that's why paper
possible.
Ballots. You're right, Ian. You are correct. We should not be using the machines. They should be hand-counted paper ballots like almost every other country does. And they can get counted in a decentralized manner at the local level where 3 people are looking at each count, putting it in a box, locking it, and saying, we all agree this was the number.
If you can do that,
and that's how we've always done it.
Look at every ballot. Like, what about the guy who's like, I can't read that, and he throws it away?
That's why you have 2 other people. Because then they go, what do you mean? It says Trump.
So you need 3 people for every ballot. I mean, what do they do? People actually do that?
3 people, not for every ballot. 3 people for every jurisdiction.
that
And they
sits and counts
did this in
everything
Arizona.
together.
They did it in Arizona.
You
Yes,
gotta
they
hope
did.
that they're not colluding. And
Well,
just
there's
hoping to
only
God-
so much you can do. A machine's not going to actually be able to track political biases.
It can
So
just
you
do
have a Democrat or Republican and a nonpartisan, and they'll all look at it and they'll all agree that's a Trump vote. That's a Kamala vote. That's a Trump vote. That's a Kamala vote. They get put in a box. The number gets written down. They all sign it. It gets sealed with tamper-evident tape 3 times. And they say, here's our number. We report it.
That is ideal.
Every jurisdiction does that. And in a decentralized way, all the data gets fed to a centralized location. And you have a near perfect decentralized count of the vote.
Then you got to guarantee that it's a Trump voter, a Kamala voter, and an independent person. And they'll just be like,
It's very, very easy. That's called registration.
Yeah, I'll vote. Dude, you know how many people would register for the opposite things to go screw something? Like, people become nefarious. Open source code is not nefarious.
Making an argument that you can't perfectly secure a system is not an argument.
No, I'm not talking about
system.
perfectly securing anything.
Right, so
I'm
this
talking
is
about
called good
making
security.
less insecure. Like, we're very reliant on people's goodwill right now in this system, and that is...
Which is why you do 3 people.
And then it's very reliant on those 3 people's goodwill, and that is... I don't trust humans. Why would you ever?
I don't trust computer code I can't see.
Well, you just have to see the code.
You're
I don't
right.
trust code I can't see either. That's why the Dominion system's busted.
And here's the problem. I can't read code either. I can't read code, so
well,
I
then you should learn how to read the code and check it.
That's not my
responsibility. Or you can be willfully ignorant. But there are people that can read the code.
Then you know what I think? We should do voting based on Magic the Gathering cards. That'll be the verification system because I'm an expert in that. Other people should have to learn how to play.
I don't understand that, Tim.
I should be able to use an encryption system only I know, and you have to learn.
Well, if it's what kind of argument is that?
Arguing that
a system that only one guy understands. It's an open source coded system where you can read the code online on GitHub.
Arguing that a plumber has to learn how to code so that he can understand the election system is ridiculous.
Hey, man, it's better than not having any access to it.
Right, so we should have paper ballots, hand counted, 3 people. That's called securing a system.
It's not secured. You still
rely. Secured.
It's more secured to have some sort of backup.
James, what say you?
I mean, I approach this a little differently. I released a video in Maricopa County, Tim, last week, went viral, just to let them know that I'm there, because I believe this recording thing works, and because it deters fraud. People are afraid. I've been on the show before, and people are afraid of they're going to be shamed out of committing fraud for fear of them being caught committing fraud. Because your point is, what if, I think you said 10,000 people do it autonomously? Is that what your point?
Yep.
But even in their minds, they might be afraid. They're going to look to the left, they're going to look to the right, right? Most of the time, you're not alone in these rooms. You're in gymnasiums, you're in schools. I think they would be afraid of getting caught. And my message to everyone is that I'm not exaggerating. We have hundreds of people that are going to have hidden cameras.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.